This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your SUNCOAST News. We're here for you.
Good afternoon, I'm Ray Collins, and for Scott Dennis, topping our news at noon, an alert passerby called police after seeing a man slump behind the wheel with a toddler in the car trying to awaken him. The man's been charged with DUI, and our Jacqueline Matter talked to that Good Samaritan this afternoon. Jacqueline?
Good afternoon, Ray. During rush hour traffic in Sarasota on Friday afternoon, a witness noticed an Audi at a complete stop in a turning lane off North Washington Boulevard. That's when Kristen Andrews took this video. Take a look as 29-year-old Winton Folks was seen slumped over in the driver's seat, unconscious, while his 2-year-old son roamed the car, all while trying to hit his chest with a cell phone while sitting on his lap. When police arrived, the man's foot was on the brake and the driver's door unlocked with no child seat anywhere in the vehicle. Folks' grandmother later arrived to take custody of the child and the vehicle while the man was taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital for evaluation. According to a police report, while in the hospital, Folks said he was drinking earlier that day. He has since been charged with DUI, and a charge of child abuse without great bodily harm is under investigation by the state attorney's office. The witness, Kristen Andrews, who is a mother of 2, said her motherly instinct took over when she saw that toddler.
I'm just glad I was there at the right time to see, because who knows how long they were really sitting there, because I was there with them for a total of 13 minutes. It was scary because, your first instinct, you want to get that baby. I don't care what happens to the guy, because that baby is just, a little guy. So it was really scary, but as long as I stayed calm and got them there to get them out, that's my main goal.
Folks was released on a $500 bond on Saturday. He will make his first appearance in court on August 3rd. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thanks, Jacqueline. What was a search for a missing 13-year-old girl in Hillsborough County has now become a homicide investigation. Janessa Shannon's body was found in the Triple Creek Nature Preserve last Wednesday. Over the weekend, the sheriff's office say they were investigating the case as a homicide. Shannon disappeared 2 weeks ago. Her family reported that Janessa was seen at one point in Manatee County, where her mother lives. FHP is part of a big crackdown on the roads this week. State troopers across 5 states are taking part in Operation Southern Shield. The goal is to crack down on speeding, seatbelts, distracted driving, and impaired driving. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration gave FHP grant money to increase its presence. They're now doing it since summer is the busiest time on the roads. New at noon, a slow drive on Beneva Road this morning in Sarasota County. A water main break at the intersection of Beneva Woods Boulevard and Beneva Road between Proctor and Clark Roads. The county says a 12-inch water main break began leaking this morning. The sheriff's office is helping with traffic control and detours. About 100 utility customers are now affected nearby. No word yet as to what caused that break. And speaking of water and the chances of rain, here's John Scalzi.
Very good.
Good segue, huh?
Can I tell you, I don't know what Chef Judy is doing in that kitchen over there, but man, does it smell good in this studio.
We'll find out shortly, I'm sure.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, we got more rain showers on the way again today. In fact, they're coming in a little bit earlier. Got a few on the map right now. Radar is showing a few scattered showers, and the Van Wezel webcam from this morning showed a fairly clear sky that allowed things to heat up pretty nicely. But notice how towering those cumulus clouds are as they begin to build and move a little closer to shore. An indication of an unstable, very moist atmosphere and the sea breeze interactions, which will trigger off more of what we're seeing down to the south. Showers and thunderstorms beginning to blossom down there around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor and lifting from Lee County into Charlotte County will gradually encompass a lot of our viewing area today, such that our rain chances are high. A lot of sunshine helping to boost those temperatures, driving a sea breeze which will take showers and thunderstorms and move them inland as we progress through the afternoon. Daytime highs, again warm in the low 90s, and rain chances coming in at about 40 or 50%. A little higher inland, little less right near the immediate coastline. But the timing, kind of a little earlier in the day today than we've seen over the last several days. Talk more about it coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Sarasota City Commissioners have their regular session in about 2.5 hours. And among the big topics this week, dogs and leashes. Our Erica Jackson has a preview.
Right now, dogs can run freely in this park in the Indian Beach Sapphire Shores neighborhood, which is causing some serious drama among residents as commissioners look to tighten its leash laws citywide.
Dogs rely on playtime. It's very important for them in their development and their socialization.
Mel Harner and his pup Rosie try to visit Sun Circle Park every day.
It's a friendly place. It's a wonderful place to be, and the dogs are certainly a part of that.
That's why they hope city commissioners keep Sun Circle out of a new ordinance that will require leashes at all Sarasota parks. In March, several residents convinced the commission to include an exemption in the upcoming second reading.
The people who have dogs here are responsible for their dogs, that they won't let them off the leash unless they have a sense that they know where the dog is.
But more than a dozen homeowners say that hasn't been the case. In a letter to city commissioners, homeowner Francis Gaston questioned, why should our park not be as safe as other neighborhood parks? Gaston also acknowledged in 2015 a terrier poodle mix was euthanized following an attack by 2 off-leash dogs. It's just one of 9 incidents since 2006, according to animal control reports sent to commissioners from residents, along with more letters and a petition.
There should be penalties for people that are irresponsible when they're off leash. Maybe that's a part of the solution.
Owners are still responsible for their pets even if the park allows off leash. Joel Worth supports keeping the park a leash-free zone, but thinks making it the city's only exemption will bring in dog owners from outside the neighborhood.
It will become a kind of a destination point for people who just want to come here because of dogs.
Earlier this year, the Parks and Recreation Board recommended all parks require leashes to make the city's ordinance more clear. Reporting in Indian Beach Sapphire Shores, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Other news now, a search is on for 2 men who robbed a new bagel shop in broad daylight Sunday. It happened at Uncle Nick's New York-style deli on Manatee Avenue West. Here it is. Sheriff deputies say 2 men came in through the back door and held up the clerk. The shop just opened in April near 59th Street West. Witnesses describe them as 2 black males about 6 feet tall with thin build. If you can help, call the Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. A local ministry spent Sunday helping the homeless in downtown Sarasota. Members of PACE Ministry passed out cold water, deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste, and feminine products. PACE, by the way, stands for Prayer, Assistance, Service, and Evangelism. The event was based in 5 Points Park. One longtime homeless man grew emotional as he expressed his gratitude. Listen.
Just don't condemn the homeless. A lot of us are out here for extraneous circumstances, so just show a little compassion.
PACE Ministry says they'll do it again next month as well. Well, we all know families value portraits, but sometimes we forget to include our 4-legged relatives. However, thanks to Art Center Manatee, families were able to bring their pets to the Bradenton Art Center this past weekend for paintings of their favorite animals and their paw prints.
It's a really fun family day. It was all free, so it was something to do on a hot summer day.
We had fun. We had fun seeing all the dogs and the people.
And there's cats in there too, but then we looked at the artwork.
Art Center Manatee is now featuring several galleries centered around local artists with an eye for painting animals. If you'd like to see their work, Art Center Manatee is near the South Florida Museum in downtown Bradenton. Well, fortunately, Wall Street has not gone to the dogs so far this week. Some modest gains. Richard Stern has a preview. Richard?
Ray, that's your second great segue. You're doing just fine, thank you. We have modest gains, which I guess are better than modest losses so far. The morning top to bottom range is only 36 points, almost unheard of. Plus 16 the high of the day, minus 20 the low of the day so far. This is sort of the calm before the storm because we're going to get a lot of second quarter earnings reports this week and next week. And of course, how those earnings reports come out will have a lot to do with how Wall Street reacts. So let's take a look at our reaction so far, and indeed it is modest. There you see the Dow at 21,651.92, a gain of 14.71% on just light volume of 389 million shares. The NASDAQ for the day very similar, up 0.1%, 5.5 points at 6,317.89. That on volume of 688 million shares. The S&P, the big winner, up by a whopping 0.1%, 2.5 points at 2,461.83. Well, on this quiet day, shares of FedEx were less than quiet, down more than 3%, after the company said it would have a, quote, material financial effect, unquote, as a result of the cyber attacks they saw last month. FedEx has a European division, which they bought in 2016, which has its computer base in Russia. Problem? Absolutely. Ukraine, to be specific. As a result of that, that was really the hub of the cyber attack. And while FedEx said it is still working its way through, the problems indeed will affect the company's bottom line. So quiet day, but not so for FedEx.
No. Whole new world for them. All right, Richard, you're back here at 5 o'clock today?
I'll be here.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's see what's on the menu now. Chef Judy has details of that wonderful aroma in our studio. Judy, what do you have today for us?
Well, hey there, Ray. Just back from a New England vacation, and it reminds me of those times that I used to go down to the docks in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and buy swordfish from the linemen. And I have always been a big fan of swordfish when it's abundant, and it's really come back. It used to be in the endangered fish, but it's really come back from some great things that they did back in Massachusetts and back in the day. So I picked up some beautiful swordfish at the fresh market. If you're not a fan of swordfish, the arugula pesto that we're going to brush and sear the fish with, it's going to work with snapper, grouper, wild salmon, so many other choices. So I think you're going to really like this recipe. I know I do. And we're going to serve this along with a fresh watermelon mint salad, little feta in there that's going to balance everything off, because I think it works really lightly with the grilled swordfish. So stay with me as I bring you a little taste of New England, but Florida style. I'll be grilling up in just a few minutes.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell HOSPICE, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell HOSPICE, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, we're climbing up there. It didn't take much sunshine to boost our temperatures into the upper 80s, which is where we are now. In some places, very close to the 90 mark. A mix of sun and clouds. We have plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. We had on Friday a little bit of drier air kind of work its way in, you know, and it led to some pretty stable conditions for summer day on Friday and for Saturday as well. Sunday things kind of opened up in places, but for the most part we still had a little hint of residual dry air in place. Today it's gone. The moisture is back, and we are watching the radar light up. I think starting a little earlier today, mostly because the winds are fairly light, which have allowed for a west wind to develop already at this hour. So the sea breeze in progress, starting to build. Across the region, 88 degrees in Arcadia, 87 in Myakka, Wauchula, 88 in Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, 87 in Northport, Punta Gorda coming in at 89 degrees. We have 87 in Inglewood, 88 in Venice, and 86 at Longboat Key. Coast kept a bit cooler by the westerly winds, even though the water temperatures are now pretty warm, so they're not doing that much cooling, but still a couple of degrees. Inland temperatures will certainly, before the end of this show, in some places hit the 90 mark. So we have a general southerly wind flow that's helping to transport moisture north. We've got a lot of rain showers to the north associated with an old boundary that's lying there. That's really not going to bother us all that much. That's stuck there and will eventually just wash away. For our area, well, the rain showers are already starting in places. We've had some showers kind of lifting north from the south, riding on that southerly wind flow. And then the sea breeze front starting to kick in, pulling in a few showers along the coastline now, mostly around areas of Northport and Warm Mineral Springs and Inglewood, seeing a few, Rotunda seeing a little bit of light rainfall. All of this will gradually move inland. And I think probably in a couple of hours what you'll see is some of this rain shower activity lifting northward from the south, and then our sea breeze building inland, and then watch the two kind of meet up together in Hardee and DeSoto County, and there'll be some larger storms building there, and all of those storms generally drifting east into Highlands County, where there'll be some impressive rainfall totals, I think. So if you look across the country right now, we've got these showers stretching from the mid-Atlantic all the way down through the deep south, and we also have an area of disturbed weather up in the northeast. If you're traveling today, the northeast will be a hot spot for heavier weather. I think possibly some severe weather up there could lead to some airport delays in New York and LaGuardia and Newark. For us, the southern edge of this high-pressure ridge and an old stalled frontal boundary kind of combining together to fire off some of these bigger storms around. Some of them producing some fairly heavy rainfall and frequent lightning up in the panhandle. We're really not going to get a lot of that, although some of these storms, this complex of storms beginning to build here, could lay down a outflow boundary that could eventually progress far enough south to enhance the sea breeze circulation even further, so that north central Florida picks up some pretty good rainfall. I think as we progress through the afternoon, the sea breeze front will send most of the showers toward the other coastline, and that's where you're going to see the heaviest of the rainfall. And I bet you a similar sort of situation evolves tomorrow. Everything kind of points in that direction. Also on Wednesday, probably see the same sort of thing. By the end of the week, we'll probably see a little bit of a reversal in this pattern, and we'll probably return to more of the evening thunderstorms near the coast as opposed to the earlier midday thunderstorms. Showers near the coast, moving inland, light shifting winds, and a very hot and humid afternoon with daytime high temperatures again around the 92, 93, above average for this time of year by a degree or two or three. So that is the weather highlights that carry us through the next several days. The drier air that we had in place over the weekend, as I mentioned, is gone now thanks to this general southerly flow of air lifting northward. And the future forecast shows those showers being pushed toward the other coast. I think tomorrow again in the morning we'll see a few scattered showers, possibly building in Gulf waters, and then in the early afternoon building inland and moving even further inland once again. We have some tropical activity, which we will talk about in the next half hour, but for the remainder of our work week, expect about a 40 to 50% chance of rain with temperatures in the low 90s. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, John. The most abundant mineral in your body is calcium. It helps keep you healthy, but how much is too much? Kim Hutcherson has today's Health Minute.
Calcium is essential for strong bones and healthy teeth. It also plays a role in the functioning of the nervous system, muscles, blood vessels, and heart. Experts recommend men aged 19 to 70 and women aged 19 to 50 consume 1,000 milligrams of calcium every day. Men older than 70 and women over 50 should increase that amount to 1,200 milligrams daily. Dairy products like milk, yogurt, and cheese are all well-known sources of calcium. But dark leafy greens like broccoli and kale have it as well. If you're tracking your calcium intake and find you're coming up short, then your doctor may recommend a supplement. But be careful, because there is such a thing as too much calcium. Cardiologists at Johns Hopkins say there's no evidence taking more than the recommended amount of calcium does you any good. And even worse, past government studies have linked overdoing calcium supplements to hardening of the arteries and other problems. So if you need supplements, divide them up and take them twice a day. The body can only process 500 to 600 milligrams of calcium at once. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Still ahead, interesting reaction from Roger Federer after his latest Grand Slam win. And what was his son doing after the match? Highlights in sports after this.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Welcome back. The Rays have won 4 straight going back to the All-Star break. On Sunday, they tried to complete a 3-game sweep with the Angels. Let's see how they did. Chris Archer takes a shutout to the 5th inning, but Albert Pujols flared one to right. Former Ray Nick Franklin scores. Angels lead 1-0. Rays down 2 in the 7th, and Logan Morrison ties it with that blast. 26th of the year. That's top 10 in the league. And then Adam Kolarek just debuted 2 weeks ago for the Rays. He lost the lead in the 8th. Here comes a 2-run home run by C.J. Cron. He goes deep into right field. Now the Rays made it interesting, loading the bases with 1 out in the 9th inning, but they couldn't capitalize. They lose 4-3. They are now traveling north to begin a series with the A's in Oakland that starts tonight, 10:05 our time. Now the resurgence of Roger Federer continues. Just when many thought his career was fading, well, he won another Grand Slam. He beat Marin Cilic in straight sets yesterday to claim his 8th Wimbledon and 19th Grand Slam. The 35-year-old is now ranked 3rd in the world after winning the Australian Open earlier this year. Federer says he is as surprised as anyone at his game in 2017.
I knew I could do great again maybe one day, but
not at this level. And I guess you would have laughed too if I ever told you like I was going to win 2 slams this year. You know, people wouldn't believe me if I said that, and I also didn't believe that I was going to win 2 this year.
Look at this, his twin boys, Lenny and Leo. One was so bored making faces, the audience loved it. He's got 2 sets of twins, by the way. Good for him. Federer back in the top 3 in the world after a knee surgery last year and also other injuries that many thought he was going to head toward retirement. Instead, he is heading back to the top, indeed a crowd favorite. Speaking of crowd favorites, let's go back to the kitchen now for more on today's lunch from Chef Judy. Take it away.
Well, Ray, I'm going to go a little backwards right now. I've already got the swordfish started. What I did was I brushed it with the arugula pesto. I'm going to show you how to make the pesto next. I have a really fun story to tell you. This is true. When my son was very young and in preschool, I used to send him, because I had restaurants, I used to send him to school with like lobster rolls and pesto grilled swordfish sandwiches, and I found out mid-year that he was actually trading those with his teachers so he could have a slice of pizza or peanut butter and jelly. Not something I normally had in my house, but I thought that was just such a fun story. So whenever I make this, I think of him and trading out that he was too young at 3.5 to really want an arugula pesto sandwich, but that's how we brought him up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some organic arugula. I love when Warden Farms comes back to the farmer's market because they have that peppery arugula, and so does Jessica's stand. So you want that bite in it. We're going to take slivered almonds. You can toast them slightly if you want, and a good quality olive oil, lemon juice, not too much garlic. Now this arugula pesto is a little different than the basil pesto. I'm only going to put in 1 clove of garlic, 2 at the most if you're making a big batch, but I am going to use a little bit of red chili flakes, and that's going to give it another bite, which is nice. And of course some Pecorino Romano cheese. That's going to all be blended together in my little mini food processor. This, folks, is a great gift. I gave it to my sister-in-law one year when I was out visiting her as a thank you, and she makes pesto probably twice a week because of that. So you're going to blend that up and it becomes this beautiful bright green, but what's perfect in it is that the oil becomes this almost moistening element for the fish. So you get this nice piece of crust on it, and then you also get the flavor. So you can see, I want you to see in the bottom of the pan, see all this oil? This is actually coming from the pesto that we've just cooked with. So we're going to go ahead and add wild salmon, because like I said, not everybody likes swordfish. So we're going to use that with some of that same arugula pesto. Now we're going to start on the watermelon salad. It's really important that you buy feta cheese in blocks and not pre-crumbled, because it's going to taste better, number one, and it's not going to be too crumbly, so you want to have to be able to taste it. This watermelon salad is going to be yummy, not only with grilled fish, but it's going to be great if you're making lamb burgers. So come back, we'll finish this, put the whole dish together, and I think that Ray and Scalzi are going to have a good lunch today.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
As a singer-songwriter, it's all about creating high-performance art that moves people. Same is true in making gorgeous cars. Fiat designs it. You're the artist.
Choose your palette just about any color combo inside out. No small wonder, state-of-the-art style Fiat.
Now this moves me.
Well, they're playing my song.
Let the art of Fiat move you at Fiat of Sarasota.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
I'm Cindy Lou. I'm Susie. I'm Missy. And I'm Betty Jean. And we're the Marvelous Wonderettes. Mr. Sandman.
Experience the best girl group songs from the 50s and 60s live on stage at the Players Center July 12th through the 23rd. Call 941-365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You'll fall in love with the Marvelous Wonderettes.
I'm so alone.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. President Trump says a new poll that puts his approval rating at under 40% is not accurate. It is the lowest rating of any president at the 6-month mark since Harry Truman. Reporter Emily Rao has details of that and 2 other pressing issues.
The new ABC News Washington Post poll numbers aren't good for President Trump. Record lows for overall approval, and when asked about President Trump's behavior, 24% of Americans think it is fitting and proper, compared to 70% who call it unpresidential.
Big part of what's driving his negativities, George, is his tweeting and the way he communicates. If all he did was adjust that, I think he would begin to rise.
In fact, 67% of Americans disapprove of the president's use of Twitter. Just 24% approve. Aside from the president's Twitter habit, Russia continues to be a sore spot.
This is about as clear evidence you could find of intent by the campaign to collude with the Russians.
63% of Americans think the meeting between the president's inner circle and a Russian lawyer was inappropriate. And we now know that not just 1, but 2 well-connected Russians were in that meeting, arranged with the promise of providing damaging information about Hillary Clinton. The Russian lawyer aligned with the Kremlin and a Russian-American lobbyist who was once an officer in a Soviet counterintelligence unit. The president's private attorney playing defense Sunday, seeming to blame the Secret Service for not stopping that meeting.
Well, I've wondered why the Secret Service, if this was nefarious, why did the Secret Service allow these people in? The president had Secret Service protection at that point. That raised a question with me.
The agency responding, saying Don Jr. was not under Secret Service protection at that point, so they wouldn't have screened anyone he was meeting with at the time. President Trump tweeted this morning that most politicians would have gone to a meeting like the one Don Jr. attended. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
A follow-up now on a massive sinkhole in Land O'Lakes just north of Tampa. Families returned to what's left of their neighborhood yesterday, just 2 days after that sinkhole opened. Well, they wanted to salvage anything above ground. Officials are forbidding anyone to approach the site. The hole is 225 feet across and 50 feet deep. Beyond the property damage and losses, some now fear toxic chemicals and sewage may be mixing with the drinking water supply there.
We're going to do 20 random samplings starting tomorrow morning to test our water at our environmental lab, bring those results back, and inform the neighborhood of what their water quality is.
So while tests on the drinking water continue, experts say the risk of contamination is low. And you had said today on Good Morning Suncoast, John, that the farther south you get in the peninsula, the less likely you see a...
Dramatically less likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our area, it's dramatically less likely. But we do get them occasionally. Warm Mineral Springs, case in point, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, few and far between in the 20-some years that I've worked at this station and the 50 years I've lived on the Suncoast. I can't recall a sinkhole incident on the Suncoast that led to injury or loss of life.
More likely north.
Much more likely because of the soil substrate there, the network of underground rivers and streams eating away at the limestone and such as that. But I just wrote a little blurb on that on my Facebook page, John Scalzi ABC7, if you want to know more. Nice map there, too, that kind of describes exactly what the situation is.
Very good. Look for that. Yeah.
Check it out. We're looking at some pretty quiet conditions across the Suncoast. Casey Key webcam showing a nice start to the day. A little cloud building, though, is evidenced here on the camera. You can notice a vertical loft of those clouds, an unstable kind of environment. As we head into the next couple of days, I think we'll see kind of a repeat of what we're seeing now, which is showers and thunderstorms starting a little earlier in the day. Some of them lifting northward on a general southerly wind aloft, helping to bring the moisture back this way. Plus the sea breeze beginning to form now. We have a west wind across the region that'll all lead to better chances of rainfall, especially in inland areas over the course of the next few days. I'll put the rain chance near the coast at about 40% and then take it up to about 50% by 4 p.m. But most of the showers and thunderstorms will, after that period of time, have worked their way inland, where there's probably a 60% chance of rain. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you, John. Talk to you soon. Now to the latest on efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is once again delaying a vote on the new GOP plan, this time to wait until Senator John McCain recovers from surgery. Republicans need 50 votes to pass their bill and already have lost support from 2 of the 52 GOP members in the Senate.
You know, I think the longer the bill's out there, the more conservative Republicans are going to discover that it's not repeal.
I would estimate that there are about 8 to 10 Republican senators who have deep concerns.
The latest ABC poll shows Americans favor the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, over the GOP plan by a 2-to-1 margin. And as far as Senator McCain goes, he is still recovering after having a blood clot removed from his left eye on Friday. His office says doctors found it during a routine physical. Surgeons removed it at the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix. In a statement, McConnell says McCain's surgery went very well and he is in good spirits. Doctors have ordered the senator to take a week of rest. A pilot and passenger walked away after their seaplane crashed into a pond in Maine on Sunday. Look at this. Witnesses say seeing the plane come that close to the boats was shocking, but they're glad that everyone was all right. No word yet as to what caused that pilot to crash. A fire at the SpaceX building caused plenty of crews to scramble on the east coast of Florida. First responders got to the fire shortly after 5 p.m. on Sunday and were able to douse it in less than 3 hours. The company recently delivered cargo to the International Space Station from one of the Port Canaveral launch pads. There was no damage to any SpaceX equipment or hardware as a result of the fire. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Back to the kitchen now for more on today's lunch. Here's Chef Judy.
Okay, the fish is done. It's grilled. We did both swordfish and wild salmon with that arugula pesto that was based on it. A little more salt and pepper. We want to balance it out. We don't want to go too heavy in the salt because you have the salt from the feta cheese going into the watermelon salad. So you're going to take some fresh mint, and this time of year I have to buy it. It just doesn't grow in my house, even in my earth boxes. But I just hand-pick that. What's going to happen if you don't, if you use the knife, it's kind of like iceberg lettuce where it starts to brown a little bit too quickly. So just use your hands, pick it apart. Meyer lemons are in, so if you have a friend that has a Meyer lemon tree, now is the time to trade them out. A little basket of Meyer lemons and you'll make them a nice fresh watermelon salad. So to give it some bite, we have the feta, we have the watermelon, we have the mint, but now we're going to add some red onion, and that is going to give it a little bit of the tanginess that you need. When you cut the red onion in half, if it smells too strong, then what I want you to do is put it in a baggie, seal it up, and you can use that for something else, sauteed onions on a burger or something like that. You want to really go with a sweeter version of the red onion. You can usually tell because if they're fat and stubby, that usually means that they're going to be on the sweeter version. Then I just take a little citrus vinaigrette, just a splash, and a little salt and pepper. Now this will last in the refrigerator about 24 hours, but what happens is, of course, the feta cheese, that salt is going to extract extra liquid from the watermelon. So what you want to do is you want to drain the base of it. But now I want to show you, so we have the swordfish that we finished up. Beautiful brown crust on it, right, from this arugula pesto. And then I put some fresh arugula right on the bottom of it, a little more pesto right on the plate, and then we're gonna serve it along with the watermelon salad. So it's really easy and light and perfect to do. And like I said, as I shared in my opening story, this makes a really nice sandwich. So if you want to put it on a good slice of bread or a roll, you'll have that grilled swordfish, and the pesto just adds so much, so it's going to be really good on like a ciabatta roll. So we'll add a little bit more of this salad and some pieces of feta, and there we have it. I'm going to do some zest of lemon on top, and I am ready to serve the guys lunch. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Get the hottest deals of the year during the summer clearance event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab for as low as $24,999. Or spread out in your spacious new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
So this afternoon, with just a little bit of sunshine that we have seen, our temperatures have risen very quickly into the upper 80s, which is where we are now. Plus, dew point value at 75, making it feel kind of humid and sticky. Aloft as well, our moisture has increased such that now, with our west wind developing, which is the beginning of our sea breeze, we're starting to see showers and thunderstorms kicking off. Across the region, temperatures getting pretty close to that 90-degree mark in many locations. We've got 89 in Parrish, 89 in Punta Gorda, 87 in Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca, and Northport comes in at 88, 86 degrees, Longboat Key, and in Inglewood, 88 in Venice. We've got some showers that have built down to the south, lifting northward on a general southerly wind flow aloft. Plus, we have a sea breeze developing now that's kicking off a few storms. Large mass of storms and thunderstorms to the north of us caused by an old boundary there. That's really not going to impact our weather, other than maybe some of the outflow from some of those storms might sink far enough south to help trigger off additional showers in inland areas later in the day. It's going to take most of the afternoon for any kind of an outflow boundary to make it down here. And a lot of those storms up that way are not intense enough to really produce a strong outflow that'll interact with some of these showers lifting northward. But our sea breeze would interact with these storms. And in inland areas, I think you might see a blossoming of some of those storms in about a couple of hours. A lot of the activity near the coastline will have moved inland by then. And we'll watch for a reduction in the rainfall near the coastline as we go from about 4, 5, 6 o'clock, something like that. Got a few showers in progress now around Rotunda, mouth of Charlotte Harbor, up toward Northport, Warm Mineral Springs. Those areas seeing a little bit of light rainfall. Across the nation, most of the west is still hot, dry. Not much happening there. We're looking at some showers in the northern tier. Western Great Lakes could be some severe weather in that area, and also in the northeast could be some severe weather located in that location as well. For us, an old frontal boundary kind of meandering across the area near the shoreline of the central Atlantic. High pressure kind of producing a ridge effect around most of the deep south. Our area benefiting from light winds and a sea breeze starting early. That sea breeze starting early will take the showers that we see here and kind of push them further inland so that along the coastline things kind of dry out early as well. Storms near the coast, light and shifting winds, and the moisture lifting northward, kind of taking care of that dry air that moved in over the weekend. Showers moving inland today. Again, tomorrow we'll watch the showers near the coast moving inland. Same sort of general pattern that we've seen over the last, that we're seeing today, we'll see over the next few days. In fact, the majority of the heavier rain will be in inland areas. Now, we do have two areas of disturbed weather that we continue to monitor. Hurricane Center gives this area about a 40% chance of development, but all of the motion with this storm is on a trajectory that'll take it well south of us, so it doesn't look like we have much to worry about in the short term, next 4 or 5 days, in terms of any kind of tropical weather in our neck of the woods. 40% chance of showers for the next several days, higher rain chances inland, temperatures in the low 90s. Back to you.
John, in Manatee County, an area that's been plagued with crime became the perfect spot for a weekend barbecue. The Sheriff's Office hosted a community event over the weekend. It took place in Pride Park on 63rd Avenue East in Bradenton. Several groups joined residents and law enforcement, including No Longer Silent. That's an addiction awareness group that spreads information about local rehab and recovery homes.
We have definitely built some trust in the community. We're getting more information from people that live in this area when they have a crime that is being committed, and they in the past may have not told us about what's going on, but now they're sharing information with us. And it's a big help because law enforcement and the community have to be together when we're fighting crime. That's how it works. It works best when we are both on the same page.
Sheriff Wells hopes the barbecue can become an annual event to bring the community closer together. To the south now, in Northport, police socialized with residents over the weekend at an event called Coffee with a Cop. It was held Saturday at Dunkin' Donuts. Officers and locals discussed important issues in Northport, and the police chief says it's a helpful gathering for them.
I think it's very important to have that community-police relationship. We cannot do our job without the community. As far as we're concerned, when it talks about community policing, they are part of our department, the police department, and we are part of the community.
They really, truly lay their life on the line every single day. So, and that's why we came out, just to show them support.
And by the way, later on this week, police in Sarasota will have their regular Tweet from the Beat on Twitter Thursday at 5:30. Selby Gardens had its final taste of the summer on Sunday at their Bayfront facility. The group's Solar Coaster entertained the crowd. Selby Gardens has been hosting these monthly shows since February. For future events at the facility, just go to selby.org. A lot of fun. Well, still ahead, we lost 2 Hollywood legends this past weekend. We'll tell you who. And an auction that's out of this world. Details on the way.
Fresh out of the box, the Alfa Romeo won us over. We went in skeptical and left in awe of this gorgeous machine. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055, 800-793-6055.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
It does things that seem impossible. Feeling like it could change direction while airborne. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Oh, that is wonderful.
It's just perfect on a real humid day, right? You get that flavor from the arugula.
And kudos on not drawing out the swordfish.
Thank you.
That's
well,
not,
let me
not
tell
so
you,
easy sometimes.
a New England chef that serves dried fish is tortured for life, so you have to really...
Is there a secret to it?
The key is that you have to have some form of a cholesterol to seal in the juices, whether it's rubbing something like a swordfish steak, and it has to be the steak type, with a thin layer of Hellmann's mayonnaise, or in this case, the cholesterol came from the oil from the arugula pesto. So let that soak in for about 15 minutes, and don't let your pan be or your grill be too high.
So delicious, and that pesto you could use on a variety of different things too. That'd
Grilled
be good.
vegetables.
Straight on pasta, I guess.
Oh, baby, you got it. Unfortunately, I'm doing the low carb thing yet again.
No.
Noodles.
On our website.
Zucchini noodles.
MySuncoast.com. Check it out. Yeah, zucchini noodles would be the way to go. Back to you, Ray. I'm eating.
Folks. Entertainment news now at the box office. It was 2 remakes. Planet of the Apes knocking out Spider-Man. Where are the fresh ideas these days? Here are the weekend numbers from Rick Damigella.
What's my stance on 9/11? Anti.
The Big Sick expanded into wide release in its 4th weekend. The already impressively performing rom-com shot into 5th place with $7.6 million.
He ain't even listening.
Baby Driver went into reverse, slipping from 3rd to 4th with $8.8 million, while Gru and his minions from Despicable Me 3 dropped to 3 with $18.9 million.
It's too larby? Not larby enough.
Spider-Man Homecoming's web wasn't sticky enough to hold on to 1st place for a 2nd weekend. The web slinger swung into 2nd with $45.2 million, bringing its domestic gross to just over $208 million.
What?
War for the Planet of the Apes won the weekend with a $56.5 million debut. The latest Apes flick managed to just meet the low end of pundits' predictions for its opening frame. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
A famous line from the film that laid the blueprint for zombie movies. Night of the Living Dead director George Romero passed away from lung cancer on Sunday. He was called the father of modern horror flicks. His producing partner, Peter Grunwald, says he passed away listening to the score of his favorite film, The Quiet Man. Romero was 77 years old. And another Hollywood legend also passed away this weekend. Oscar winner Martin Landau was known for his leading role on the Mission Impossible TV series. He also starred in Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest. He won an Oscar for his part in the movie Ed Wood back in 1994. Landau was 89 years old. A historic anniversary for NASA over the weekend. It was 2 years ago the New Horizons spacecraft flew by Pluto, giving us the first close-up pictures of the planet and its moons. That data is still being analyzed today. And by the way, the New Horizons is still on the move. Its next target, a small object called MU-69, which is about 1 billion miles beyond Pluto. And finally, if you've ever dreamed of becoming an astronaut, you can still take one small step toward the moon. Sotheby's auctioning off a bag that Neil Armstrong used to collect moon samples back in 1969. NASA says the bag still contains remnants of lunar dust. It is expected to sell for between $2 and $4 million. The current owner bought it at an auction of items seized by U.S. Marshals. He might make a tidy profit on that auction.
I so was going to get that for John Scalzi for Christmas, and then I saw the price. It was a little over budget, John. I'm sorry. I know you would have loved it.
It's amazing to me that they lost track of that.
I know it.
I know.
Make a bundle on that little sale. Thanks for watching. Haley's here at 5 with Scott. We'll see you tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast.